I'm going to give you a little bit about my spiritual journey. I'm Roger Burnley, and right now I'm an empowerment life purpose coach. Intuitive empowerment life purpose coach. And I'll tell you that because I didn't use the intuitive part for a long time, because it came to me when I was much younger. But I grew up, like many others, in very traditional family and religions and all of that, and so it was a little odd that I was receiving information that I didn't know where it was coming from. But let me tell you a story, because it's going to be relevant to what's happening in our world now, and for those who are seeing me or wanting me to speak or whatever it might be, I want you to understand the complete story. And so in 1988, I was making a big change in my life, and I was really freaked out. Didn't know what I was going to do. Now, before that, I had done many other kind of religious, spiritual studies. I was doing a course in miracles during that time. I'd done the entire course. I've done many other things like that. But this was different, because I was moving from one career where I felt safe and I was okay and I was making money into something else that I knew I was supposed to do, but it wasn't guaranteed. And I had to then start to trust myself, and that was challenging. And I read an article from a guy who said he was a business guy, and he was moving through a similar change, and he decided that he was going to do automatic writing. I didn't even know what that was, so I looked it up and read what his description was, and I said, okay, I'm going to try that. And I sat down, and over a few days, nothing happened. I was doing my regular meditation, but then after that, about the third, fourth day, something started coming through, and I said, this is weird, and I started writing, and information came through, because I really want you to understand this. And so it was unnerving to me, because I didn't know what was happening. We all have different skills and abilities that will develop at certain times in our lives, and depending on what we have lived in our lives as well. And so as I'm going along with this, I didn't want anybody to know what I was doing. So I told just a very few friends, and maybe some family later, but I still held back. I still didn't want anyone else to know, but what it was doing was transforming my life. My business changed. I started getting all this information, and clients came up. I became this world famous vocal coach because of it, even though I didn't know what I was doing, but that's what happened. But I kept getting the information, and I said, this is wonderful. Still didn't want to tell anybody. But then in 2005, I got called out. That's really what it felt like, because I had a writing on my desk, and someone came in and saw it, said, this is great. Who wrote that? I go, oh, it came through me. And I was still embarrassed. I didn't know what to say. But they asked me, please send them to me, because this is really helping me. So I started doing it, started a little list, and then it started to grow. And fast forward, it came to the place where I thought, I know I have to do more with this, because the world was changing. And I had this precognitive ability to receive information that I didn't completely understand, but that's what was going on. So then in 2018, I knew I needed to write more about it, so I wrote a book on fear, because I'd been struggling with fear my entire life. So I wrote Overcoming Fear, A Guide to Freedom, because I definitely wanted to be free, and which had been difficult for that time. But writing the book was the first time that I owned what was going on, because I had to talk about it. I had to say, listen, I got through my fear because of the information that I received from my channeling. From my automatic writing. That's what was happening. And I was just writing it the entire time. And so, but I knew that it worked, because it changed my brain, it changed my thinking. I got access to more information. That's what was going on. And it just kept building and building. But I still didn't want to tell people. Still didn't want to talk about it. And then it came to a place where the world changed again. I said, I can't do this anymore. I have to start creating more. So I created some programs, some empowerment programs, had people in there, and they were receiving amazing results. I saw lives transforming, and it was wonderful. Then we went through a big change in our world. And so then in 2021, I heard from my guides, oh, we gave you everything you needed to know in 2012. Oh, that doesn't make sense. How could that have happened? Why didn't I know I had it? And I went back to my computer and found a folder on my computer that I didn't even pay attention to, that had most of these messages from 2012. And I started looking at them, and they were all great. And I go, how did I not see this? And why I'm saying that is because you have the same thing. Every single person, we all have something within us that has to be nurtured and developed. Otherwise, it's just pointless. But then we fear it sometimes, and I feared it. And I don't let people do that anymore when I work with them, because I said, no, you have more. It just takes time for you to accept it and to get on with doing what you came to the world to do, because we all have something. And as that was going on, I said I had to test it because I doubt everything, and I put together a program, and in December of 2021, and it was phenomenal. And so that then led me to understanding where we were in our world. We're all evolving. We're all moving through something that's going to be different for everyone, and it's going to be brilliant if we decide to own who we are. And so all the doubting that I did, all the holding back, all the stuff that I went through in my life, because I suffered through so much because I had resistance. When we resist who we're supposed to be, we will have things come up like illnesses, disease, accidents, things we can't explain. We go broke, bankrupt, anything. That's what happens because we're not owning who we are, that God-given abilities that we have, that we were meant to manifest and bring to the world to help the world evolve, not just us, but everything, because we're all connected. We're trying to remember that all the time, trying to come back to oneness. And when we don't do that, we have wars and conflict. But we're at a place now where everyone needs to understand what is going on. So now my life is about helping our planet move forward through each person, a person at a time, meaning that if I'm working with one person and getting them to understand the importance, the value, the gifts that they have, and they start to bring that up and own it, energetically they're putting something very different into the world. And and it shifts. This is something that is understood now because we have studies in quantum physics and quantum mechanics, and then we're seeing how things are formed. But we are forming the world now through how we each decide to form ourselves, because that's what we're doing. And now I'm just doing my job of providing a platform, a tool, a way, a path to guide people to their authentic selves. And it's nothing to do with me, it's you. Because your authentic self is supposed to be different, it's unique, and no one else has it. You just have to own it and have pride in it so that you can bring it to the world, and that's going to cause your world, your personal life, to become prosperous and abundant, because now you know who you are, and you're going to go out and do things that you're joyous about, which is the life that you were meant to live. And that is the work that I'm doing. And so if you're looking at me as a coach or a speaker on your podcast or whatever, this is the information I want to bring, because it's vital now for people to know their importance and start to feel that, so we shift everything that is happening in our world.